A very good Saturday afternoon to you. You're watching KTN Weekend at 1. My name is Najmi Ismail. Moving on to our first story today. Property worth millions of shillings went up in flames last night after a fierce fire gutted down a shopping mall in the Nakuru Central Business District. According to traders who had shops in the ill-fated building, the fire started shortly after 10 p.m. from one of the stalls and spread to the rest of the building. Attempts to put out the fire by passers-by and business owners failed as fierce flames kept them at bay. Firefighters from the county government of Nakuru arrived half an hour later after the incident and contained the fire, even as security personnel made frantic efforts to keep looters off the premises. The building, located near the Nakuru main bus stage, houses several businesses. The cause of the fire has, however, not yet been established.
Mimi kwangu nimepoteza vitu kama ya about 500,000.
Nimekuwa church nikaitwa. But nimepata tu mosi kiteketeza kila kitu. Poteza vitu za 15,000 kando na mashine kazi za custom.
Tulikuwa na kakapa kidogo, tukaona moshi hatukuwa tunajua. Ndio mara ya mwisho tukaangalia hivi kidogo tukaona moshi inawaka, kwenda kuangalia tukaona moto juu. Tukajaribu kuita watu wa zimamoto, wamekuja wamesaidia, lakini bado moto ni kidogo.
7 people have been injured after a gang of armed men invaded a village in Suguta Marmar in Samburu. The armed gang attacked the village at 8 o'clock last night, shooting indiscriminately. The incident has raised tension in the area. According to residents, there was a previous attempt attack on the village a week ago. The injured, including children, were rushed to Maralal County Hospital for treatment. Suguta Marmar is known for insecurity, but the latest spate of attacks seem to be on the rise, especially on the road linking Maralal and Suguta Marmar towns.
Risasi walikuwa wananyeshea. Walikuwa wanamwaga tu risasi ndani ya nyumba kupitia nyuma ya nyumba. Sasa ndio wakati sasa walitoroka, sasa kati askari walifika, ndio tuliweza kwenda pamoja nao kwa nyumba na tukakuta watu wameumia. Watoto 4, mama na baba na mjomba.
The Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Joseph Ole Lenku, has issued a stern warning to security officers that they will be held personally responsible for insecurity in their areas. Ole Lenku was speaking during a security meeting with all security agencies in Nandi County following killings by an unknown gang. 2 estate managers have been shot dead in just 2 months. The Nandi County Governor, Cleophas Langat, has blamed bailing out of capital offenders, which he says is frustrating efforts by the security teams to fight crime.
Officers will be held responsible for insecurity in their areas, whether the assistant chief, the OCSs, the chiefs, the sub-county commissioners. People will be held for insecurity in the areas because we know those who are perpetrating these crimes are within their communities. And therefore, the administrators and the security officers in those areas will take responsibility.
Civil society groups have criticized the publication of the Public Benefits Organization Amendment Bill that limits foreign funding for the groups at 15%. The organizations say they will stage demonstrations and pursue judicial redress to reject a scheme they allege is aimed at punishing a section of the civil society for their linkage to the international criminal court cases against the president and the deputy president. The human rights organizations now claim that government is out to muzzle the alternative voices. voices. voices that keep the government in check.
15% 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%. 15%
This government seems to understand only one language: to control. Yet, we are talking about a government that came into power a few months ago on a wide public support and mandate. Why is it behaving as though it has some legitimacy deficit? Why all of a sudden? Why this state of panic? When people who are in power are in a state of panic, society is endangered. Because these are people who control tools of coercion. And we are therefore suspecting, and there is every indication, that part of this bill is aimed at targeting certain organizations, mostly those that deal with human rights and governance, that are suspected to have come to the rescue of victims of post-election violence that occurred and visited this country in 2007-2008.
Politicians should not give themselves that role of assuming everybody else is bad except themselves. Today they're targeting the media. The other day they're targeting the other arm of the government, the other arm, which is now the judiciary. Now they have come for civil society. I think the bigger question is, who are they targeting next? This country belongs to all of us as Kenyans. It does not belong to a few politicians just because they feel that they are now in parliament, they have all the powers.
As the NGOs oppose the new bill seeking to regulate the foreign funding, one of their own has said that large amounts of funds still get misused by NGOs and that some of them take advantage of the poor state of Kenyans to enrich themselves. Speaking at a function in Kandara, Murang'a County, the CEO of Ahadi Kenya Trust, Stanley Kamau, emphasized on proper utilization of donor funds to reach the intended purposes. Kamau also urged the county governments to work on improving the standards of their constituents.
Amen.
Amen.
We should be able to make sure that our people live in dignity. It's very important when we create dignity for our people. And this is something I'm appealing to the government, especially the county government. They should be able to see that each and every person in every county live a decent life.
Now, an education endowment kitty has been launched for orphans and vulnerable children in Kibera slums to enable them access education from early childhood to tertiary level. Riziki Kenya, a Christian organization that deals with transformation on lives for holistic child development, launched this last night at the Kenyatta International Conference Center. They called on Kenyans to emulate such gestures so that no child is left out of the school. Then the team was there was the power of inclusiveness of orphans and vulnerable children in education. The beneficiaries of the kitty narrated their long journey in struggling to acquire education, which had proved elusive despite the free primary education program in the country. This follows the challenges that come with the FPE program, where it was noted that despite being called free, 52% of orphan children in Kenya are not in school due to inability to buy uniforms and a decent meal. The launch was presided over by the Managing Director, Chai Trading Company, Kirimi Mbui.
My education life to this point has quite been an uphill that required faith and hope for one to go through. With my mom as the only person of whom my family was looking unto, it was not easy for one to go to school. And getting to school, we can say it was just a gift to having spent the whole day in class.
Pick on one or two children and decide that you will take them through school. You will realize that probably what it will cost you is a plate of chips at Java twice a week to take that kid to school.
No load is too heavy to carry for people who are united for a common purpose.
Let me give you an idea of what it costs the Riziki Kenya to sponsor a child in school today. To sponsor one child in secondary school, it costs 6,000 per year. and 45,000 in boarding school education. We may not have a lot of money, yes, but if we make deliberate sacrifices in our day-to-day life, we can sponsor at least one child. Just imagine to sponsor a child rescued from a risky environment to a primary boarding school will require you to sacrifice only 3,750 per month. And to sponsor one child in secondary school, it will cost you only 5,000 per month. Truly, we spend much more than this every day. Sometimes we even waste this money thinking we are doing good.
The Kenya County Government Workers Union, formerly known as Kenya Local Government Workers Union, has warned the county governments against discriminating against them. Speaking in Nakuru during a meeting attended by over 20 representatives from different counties, the members said the governors are employing new workers while overlooking the current ones, regardless of their competence. The members are now calling on county governors to evaluate the current members of the Workers Union to determine their capabilities.
Why should you advertise jobs to employ when you have not even evaluated the ones you have to justify that you need more jobs? You don't have to tell me I'm not qualified before even you talk to me. You have not asked me where I go to school, and you say I'm not qualified. So we are very bitter about these issues coming up. They are bringing those brokers who they were actually campaigning for them. So even they are coming from outside, they don't have even good conduct. They have not even seen your file. You might have worked for 25 years, 27 years. Your file is clean, but they say they don't want. What negative attitude do they have about us? If somebody was refused to be given a plot when he was there, outside there, that was none of our business.
And I urge the members from the former local authorities to be calm because the professional drivers are in control. They are not going anywhere. They are in the county to stay as per the law.
Divisions in the Nyeri County government are affecting service delivery to the people. Speaking in Nyeri town this morning, members of the Nyeri Shadow Cabinet led by Kamau Gatwechi criticized the 6 Nyeri members of parliament and the Nyeri governor for not putting aside their political differences for the sake of the people of Nyeri. The Shadow Cabinet also says that investors may shy away from the county.
The governor as well has not been able to reach out to the members of parliament. And we are telling all the politicians in Nyeri, set aside your political affiliations for the sake of the Nyeri people. We are not going to allow these sideshows as you continue to draw a salary. You must realize that you are our employees. We are the employers.
They support the formation of the County Development Board. If this is going to force our leaders to sit together, we highly recommend that. But we are asking Parliament and Senate to have just one amendment. The governor should be the chair of that development board.
Kenyans are encouraged to tour their country in a bid to promote local tourism. Speaking during a governors and hoteliers roundtable meeting in Voi, the chairperson of Domestic Tourism Kenya, Anastasia Wakesho, said that tourism in Kenya has been affected by Kenyans' lack of basic knowledge of the country. This, she says, has made it difficult to market our country to visitors.
These are the main areas of our trade. We are also talking about building methods. Because they don't have the cholesterol, the problem of cholesterol, and also the risk of
kuchukua muda mchache katika kazi zetu, tuweze kujiburudisha, tuweze kujua nchi yetu iko namna gani. Kwanza tuanze na county. Watu wenyewe katika county watembelee county zao, wajue yale mambo ambayo yako pale. Ndio kwamba tusitegemee sana county government ndio itusaidie katika mambo ya kupromote na kumarket county zetu. Sisi wenyewe tukiwa wa Kenya tuweze kuwa tumejua nchi yetu ama county yetu, na tuweze pia kuambia wenzetu kule nje.
Winemakers now want the government to reduce taxation on wine. The general manager of Distill Wine Masters Limited, James Wahome, says increased taxation does not necessarily mean higher revenue for the government. Wahome argues that higher taxation mostly hurts formal trade as consumers shy away from expensive products. This, he says, only forces many to turn to the illicit liquor, which is not taxed and has largely proven to be hazardous to people's health. He was speaking in Mombasa when Distill hosted guests to a wine tasting cocktail.
Where 10-15 years ago everybody would walk into a supermarket and buy a cask of wine just to consume alcohol, now people are looking for a very specific bottle of wine. I mean, I was in a Kenyan supermarket 3 days ago just looking at what was on the shelves, and a gentleman came in and was looking for a very specific wine, which shows you that there's a lot of knowledge out there already. You know, so I think we should never underestimate the consumer. I always say the consumer is the ultimate person in the value chain, because they are the people paying the money, they are the people enjoying the wine.
The danger of increased taxation on the formal trade is that the informal business grows. And that informal business, the liquor which is made informally in the rivers and is not controlled, is not very good for the economy. We lose taxes, we lose lives. That's why we advocate that the tax should be lower so that the consumer in Kenya can afford to buy good liquor.
Nairobi County Governor Evans Kidero and his Kisii counterpart James Ongwae have slammed Parliament over the draconian Information and Communication Amendment Bill. They've called on President Uhuru Kenyatta not to sign the bill into law. Speaking in Kisii last evening, the two governors said that the bill seeks to protect some individuals at the expense of Kenyans. They also called on the Senate to protect county governments and avoid supremacy wars.
My name is Sarah Omar.
The media should not be muzzled. They must be led to perform their function, educate, inform and entertain without hindrances as to what they can do and what they can't do.
Well, let's now join Joshua Kimboi, our senior sports editor who is at the Impala Sports Grounds, to tell us what is happening. Kimboi, can you hear me?
Yes, Najma Ismail, thank you very much. We are here at the Impala grounds, like you have rightly put it, and it is the inaugural edition of the Standard Family Sports Day. And as you can see, there's several events taking place, several teams of the Standard family taking on each other today. It is a day when, of course, I would say the Human Resource Department chose it or saw it fit for all the staff to get together, not just every time getting so serious in the offices, but also to warm down after all that they have done for the entire year. We are, of course, coming close to the end of the year 2013, and this is the best way the group has decided to have the staff to come and enjoy themselves. Of course, it is a competition. It is a competition just like any other football, several teams, and we will be bringing you the results later on. But just to make us understand exactly why a sports day, is the Human Resource Director, Pauline Kiraithe. Exactly what came to your minds as human resource to put this day aside?
We were looking for a forum where we can bring in all our employees together so that we can actually get them to relax. So we felt the best way of bringing people together is through a sports day, and then also bring the various departments together where they can be able to also bond as teams, but also compete amongst themselves. Yeah, because we're in a very fast industry, the media industry, so we also need to keep those creative and competitive juices going on.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to ask you what sport you took part in early today, but you must have witnessed how the as the staff, you know, were bonding and really not imagining that I am editorial, I am probably transport or any other service.
Yes, there are various activities that were going on. We have football ball activities going on. We have football. We have volleyball. We actually have also mini soccer, Norwegian football. We also had a lot of team events where it was about communication and about teamwork.
Exactly.
For people are actually forced to work together.
I am actually looking forward to the time I will run, because I am told athletics is coming much later, and I want to finish my show and probably get there.
Yes.
Therefore, that is what it is. Sports Day is basically to have all the staff come together, and in form of competition, they will be able to bond and know each other. And what other way other than just to release, the steam of work that they have always been pressured all the time, because results anyway have to be done. We will be live here again later on for KTN Sports Final from 2 to 3 p.m. Therefore, we'll have all the aspects of the inaugural Standard Media Group Sports Day. Back to you, Najma Ismail.
Well, thank you very much, Joshua Kimboi there at the Impala Grounds. Truly an exciting day for the Standard Media Group. I cannot wait to get there, and I hope they send me a spot at the tag of war. My name is Najma Ismail. Thank you for watching KTN Weekend at 1.